What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new daily video. Today I decided to talk about something that I've experienced a lot because I love the gym, and so to me I was training every day without almost a break and for many hours. And so something that happens to you, that happened to me, and that will probably happen to anyone at some point, whether they're training or not, is that you get ill sometimes. So sometimes it's simply a cold, sometimes it's a flu. And so how do you keep training, or how do you basically keep your gains while you're ill? Because improving when you're ill obviously is not gonna be something easy. But anyway, it's never such a long period of time that you would have time to improve anyway. But usually the goal when you're ill is to maintain at least your muscles, and you don't want to lose your gains or your strengths. And most importantly, something that is actually the worst about being ill is that it breaks the momentum. And so you're most likely, and even more for maybe the beginners who've for 3 months put some effort to go back to the gym, to start the gym actually, is that if they get ill, they will stop for 1 week, and then damn it, they will just stop because the momentum is broken. Obviously, for people who've been lifting for 5 years, what's 1 week? Not too much. And so usually these people will get back to the gym straight after. But 1 week of you break the momentum of like a new habit, you can actually fall back into just not doing the practice anymore. And so that's one of the dangerous things about being ill, is that you're forced basically to break the momentum, to stop. And the real danger is not even that you're gonna lose some weight or some strength, is that you lose the motivation, the habit to go there. And even if you go back there after you're ill, you feel like you've lost some strength, and then you're like, you could give up more easily basically. This is the issue that I actually talk about often with breaks. And that's why usually I actually don't take a break when I was gymming, is that it's not really about scared of like losing gains or like not training enough. It's more about days go fast. Time seems to go faster as you age, obviously as an illusion, but still it remains pretty true to yourself and your reality. And so when the days go fast like that, 2-3 days, 4 days can go really fast, and then it's been 2 weeks you haven't been to the gym. That's something that can happen basically. And so for myself, it was never an option even to miss a day, because I didn't want to break the momentum. Usually I've had other practices in life where I would maybe break the momentum for like a week or two, and then going back to it is so much harder than if you actually made the effort to actually didn't stop for like a week or something, and to actually if you go on vacation, to still go to the gym, for example, 1 or 2 days, so you maintain what you've earned, and actually that you don't break the momentum. So coming back to being ill, I think the main subject obviously of this video is going to be how do you maintain your muscle mass and your strength. This is something that is going to be quite frustrating if you stop. And so my advice, or not my advice, but at least sharing my experience, because the gym was so important to me, I would not stop when I was ill. So obviously it took a lot of willpower to still go to the gym, but it also depends on what I had. Obviously if I had a cold, like it would be like I had nothing, I would just go to the gym. Obviously it might not be very pleasant for the people who might have caught my cold when I went there, but I think that I was pretty conscious and still trying obviously to not give my cold to other people. But basically I would still try to go to the gym when I had a cold. And it wouldn't impact me too much. I think a cold is not too much. Or maybe it depends from people to people, but a cold is just your nose and maybe your throat that is a bit achy, but apart from that it's not too hard. So with a cold I would always go to the gym, and I think that it's something manageable. Although if it's something hard for you, obviously my advice basically when you're ill is obviously to try to get the calories in. This is something that you'll always obviously have a hard time with when you're ill. You're less hungry usually, and so you still want to get the calories in, but you're not hungry. And this is even truer when you have a flu, which is usually something much harder than a cold. And so if that's the case, that's what I would do. I wasn't hungry at all and I just didn't want to eat anything, just like many people when they have this type of things happening to them. I would drink liquid, but with calories, obviously. So I would try to obviously either buy probably, a gainer for the time being, like some powder where I could obviously just drink it and the calories would be in, or I would simply make my own shakes and drink it, because getting solid food inside would be impossible and I just didn't want to bother with this. Drinking is much easier. So obviously it's not something sustainable. You don't want to just drink things for like forever, but when you're ill for like a week, then that will do it basically to maintain the calories that you had to eat. And obviously try to maintain your weight. Drinking is also interesting, the calories, getting the calories by drinking, because obviously when you're ill, usually you will lose a lot of water. So it depends what you have, obviously, but if you have things like diarrhea, obviously, you're gonna lose a lot of water. But anyway, even if it's a flu or anything else, usually you will lose quite a lot of water. And if you have fever, obviously it's the same principle. And so you wanna, keep drinking water. And obviously, the benefits that you have when you're trying to get the calories in, at least by drinking liquid, because you can't really eat solid, is that you're gonna drink liquid. So you're actually also getting the water that you need, and that you don't wanna basically drop too much water. A lot of this weight that you lose usually when you're ill, a lot is water. But there is also, if you don't eat anything, a loss of strength, for sure. And muscle mass, I wouldn't say so, because it's not long enough, but it can feel like it. You feel very depleted. And when you go back to the gym, you can really feel basically the effects that you've lost a lot of strength and that you've lost some muscle mass, or at least the impression of it. And to me, usually, if you stop 1 week, 1 week is maybe not enough. So we're gonna take the example of 2 weeks. If you stop 2 weeks, usually it won't take me 2 weeks to get back to my level. It will rather take the double the time. So if I stop 2 weeks, it will take me 4 weeks to go back to my peak level, or maybe 3. Some people say, oh, it only takes me 2 weeks, but I think they just don't see right, or they just don't look at the reality, or they just don't care enough, and so they think they've gotten back their best results after 2 weeks. But I do think that it takes double of time that you stop. And so if I'm ill for like a week and I really don't eat anything, etc., it will take me at least 2 weeks to get back to my normal level, if I restart eating normally and really, paying attention to dieting and getting my level back. So I don't want to do that usually if I'm ill. So first of all, I'll try to train, and second of all, I'll try to obviously maintain as much as I can my weight, try to maintain my weight, so when I go back to the gym, basically I don't feel a loss of strength, not that much. So the first thing obviously to do this, as I said, is to try to get the calories in. So if you're not hungry at all, try to drink it basically. And second of all, obviously the best way to maintain your muscle mass or your strength is to try to train. Obviously, what I advise when someone wants to go on holidays for like a week or 2 weeks is, sure, you will take some time off, so you're here on vacation, but like if you only go to the gym like 45 minutes and you go quite heavy on most of your basic movements, you're actually not gonna lose anything when you go back to the gym. And it only took you 45 minutes, maybe once or twice during that week, to go there, just not to break the momentum and obviously lose the habit of going there. And this saves you basically to go back to the gym and still feel like you haven't lost actually anything. And so it's the same when you're ill. Basically, what you can do is go to the gym, not to particularly go heavy or like give yourself 100%, but you can try to just go there 30 minutes. You do what you can, and at the same time you're getting the calories in, as I said. Some people will say, well, if I'm ill, that means I need to rest. And I can agree with this. It really depends like how much you care basically about your gains. If you really care about it, I'm just saying what I've done because that's something that I really cared about. And as I said, there are many reasons for that. Not to lose the momentum, you don't know what after stopping it can happen. You can lose the momentum and actually never go back to the gym. So sometimes making this effort, which is a lot of willpower when you're ill, to go to the gym just 30 minutes, to like still have the habit to go there, and you know, drinking these calories that will make you basically maintain that strength when you go back is very important, because on the short term it might seem like a stupid idea, but on the long term it could save you from stopping totally the practice, for example, if you don't have the willpower to keep going after taking a break. What I would personally try to do when I was ill is literally to drag myself over there, you know, after sleeping in the morning, when I would feel probably kind of like the best. At the end of the day, when you're ill, like you're just so tired, you just don't want to go there. So I would try to go at the best time I could, and I would try to lift heavy still. Like I would just try to basically go on my basic movement as heavy as I could to maintain that strength, although I wasn't doing my best performances because I was just tired. But I would still try basically to do my best and to try to keep things pretty heavy. And even when I had a flu, this is what I would do basically. You know, I would put, for example, gloves on, you know, or like clean the bars after I go to the gym, is like just to try obviously not to contaminate others. But I would go there, stick to the most important compound basic exercises, even do some isolation, but basically try to go heavy on the movement and go there once or twice when I was ill, so then I don't lose the momentum, as I explained, etc, etc. It does take a lot of willpower, especially when you're ill. Like, you know, when I talk about this and I'm not ill, I usually like forget how bad it is when you actually have a flu and like you really feel that you can't do anything. But to me it was important to keep training even though I was ill, and I understand that for some people that's the case, and that they still want to keep training. And so if that's the case, try to go there when you feel the freshest possible. Try to go heavy for like 30 minutes just to maintain your strength, and try to drink things with a lot of calories to maintain basically, well, the calories that you have to eat every day. And so that after the week or the 2 weeks that you were ill, you go back there and you've limited basically losing what you've built before. What you can do obviously in between is really try to rest as much as possible, try to heal yourself with medication or whatever, you know, your doctor has given you, and obviously you will recover. And I don't think that it's because you do 1 or 2 sessions when you're ill that will totally break your immune system and that it will take you much longer to recover. At least when you're young, I don't really buy into this. And so when I was doing this, I was around 20, 21, and I'm still, you know, 25. So I would heal still as quickly as I should have, even though I would be training sometimes when I was ill. Like it didn't prevent me basically from healing as fast as I should have. So, you know, that's not particularly true, at least not for me. And, you know, that's my experience. So I hope that, you know, it gave you some tips if you're one of these people who really don't want to break the momentum and lose the gains. Obviously, if you prefer to rest, go for it. I'm no one to say you should train when you're ill, but I know a lot of people are worried, and so that was the best tips that I could give you if you're in this situation. And I wish you a lot of luck and willpower to do it, because that's not easy, but it's well worth it in some situations, as I explained. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope I didn't repeat myself too much, that way it wasn't too long. It's improvised, so I've done my best. But basically, if you have questions, you know, feel free to leave them in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, and that'll be it for me. I will see you in a new daily video soon. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.